Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In the previous session, we have discussed about Terraform modules and Terraform workspace. As part of modules EC2 we have created and on that EC2 we have added a few list of options. We have like type EC2 instance type and subnet ID. We have used the default subnet ID and the instance type, the AMI we have created and we have discussed about variables as well. Now to continue that video, uh, continue that EC2 instance module, now we'll try to add the PEM file and the subnet security groups. Okay. Now we will add one more resource like resource type is EC2 instance, right? Now is AWS instance. Now we have same way we will add AWS security groups. Terraform security groups. The resource type is resource AWS security group, and the group name is I'm giving SGS security groups. So let me see the security group, Terraform security groups. The AWS security group. The basic usage block is this one. The resource is AWS security group. Allow TLS, the name of that resource we have given, and the name, and the description, and the VPC ID. So if you have your own VPC ID, it will take that one. And the ingress means input bounds, input the security. If you see, if you open any security, inbound rules and outbound rules we have, right? The same way, if you select security groups. So to log in or to open the ports, we need inbound rules, right? To access to open any port like 80443 and the source IP and the destination. So we have inbound rules and outbound rules. Where it comes to the security groups, ingress means the inbound rule, and output means outbound rules, and we have given the tags. So this is the basic security resource. Now we can take this, and here only one port it is open. So if user wants to open multiple ports, so we can declare as a variable for the ingress and we will try to use the same one. Now I have already with this block the security group resource. The resource name is AWS security groups and I have given the SGS. The name this the security group is for EC2 instance and description allow all the traffic and the VPC ID and I have my VPC right. So I use the same VPC ID and the ingress I have used I have declared ingress as a security variable so that if you add one more inbound rule, so it will use that list and it will be replaces. Here we will use the dynamic block, so it will be added the whenever it will be updated, it will be added to the inbound rules automatically. For that, we will use the dynamic block. So dynamic block Terraform. the top level construction, the dynamic block, the resource and the resource name, uh, and the dynamic block name. And for each time, it will be, as I said, Terraform will support loops. So each time it will be checked and it will be updated, the name and the content. The same way I have used this one. And if you see that variable declaration in the ingress, the type is list, the default value. For time being, I have used the port 80 and the protocol is TCP and CIDR this one. CIDR block is open anywhere. For port 22, I have used this one and protocol 22 and CIDR is I have given my VPC. Otherwise, we can use your own your IP so that you can able to SHS into the VM. Now, if I want to see this my public IP slash 32. So I have opened this port. So let me add the resource type and the outbound is open to internet. Okay. So I have copy pasted the complete resource type and we will declare SG ingress variable. So go to variables and declare variable is SG ingress. The type is list and the values. Now in the main, we can use security groups, VPC security group IDs. So here we will use AWS security groups ID and it will fetch this resource and it will updated the inbound rules and outbound rules. Now I need to use security key, means key pair I need to update it. So I have already a key pair name. So you just need to use key name. So I'm declaring as a variable. So where that value will provide later. Let me declare as a variable key name description, please select, please provide the PEMP key. And the default we have given anything, just here you can directly provide. You have given the your key pair name, PEMP file name. This is my PEMP file name. So while launching the EC2 instance, use this PEMP file and use the security groups, and it should be updated. The main var.key name, or you can directly provide the key file, key name, or let me do one thing, var.key name. So default value, default variable, I have used this key name here. Okay. So now when it comes to the main module, this is the EC2 module. We have updated the security groups and key name for the EC2 instance. The variables we have declared. Now the main module we have, let me use only one EC2 instance. Source is EC2 instance AMI subnet ID, and here we will use key name. For time being, let me use my key name directly here, and the security group VPC ID, we can use default VPC for time being. So my EC2 instance is going to use default VPC, and the default subnet yesterday we have used. In the future we will try to create our own VPC, and it will be launched EC2 instance on that VPC. Now AWS default VPC. This is the CIDR range. The VPC ID you can copy. This is the VPC ID. You just directly copy here, and the security groups, the ingress values we just need to open while launching the instance. These are the ports I just need to open. The inbound rules. Directly, I am passing the values here to while launching this EC2 instance. It just open the ports as well. So as part of launching the EC2 instance, use this AMID, subnet ID, key name, and VPC ID, the default VPC, and security ingress one. So open these ports. I am telling in the Terraform configurations. Now try to execute this one. Variables, and see this indentation is not in correct format. If you wanted to get the correct format, so there is a command called terraform fmt. If you apply, see, it will get striked. Even though if you wanted two modules, the main one, if you wanted to see alignment properly, so wherever the module is there, see here terraform modules, terraform demo modules, EC2, just go here and CMD, just do terraform fmt. If you observe here, now everything should be, alignment should be proper. Now we'll do terraform validate. It's saying demo web, the VPC ID. An argument name VPC ID is not expected here. VPC ID in the main TF line number 6. So we don't have any VPC ID in the variables. Let me check any VPC related we have declared here. Subnet, VPC security groups ID, key name. Compare this one. So variable we haven't declared VPC ID. Let me declare the variable. And let's call here VPC ID. Instance type AMI subnet ID VPC security groups ID and the key name. Now let's try to validate again. Yeah, this configuration is valid. So for time being, I have used that default security group VPC ID. Now if you see the Terraform plan, it will show what are it is going to be update. So 2 to added and 0 to change, 0 to destroy. What are going to be there as it is added security groups and the key name. So let me apply Terraform apply. If an auto approve, the VM name it should be started with demo module, and it will be added the key name, pemp key it is added. It is saying invalid security groups. Module SGS. Already exist EC2 instance. Valid duplicates. The security group is duplicate. It is saying let me remove here the values and now we'll try to apply. So it is saying for this VPC ID status code is 400. It is already existing. Security group error creating security group. So let me delete this VPC. Or let me delete this security group. It is saying this security group is already available. EC2 instance. VPCs. Demo ASG. Yeah, let me delete this and we'll try to recreate. Actions, delete the security group. Delete it. Now do again. So security groups is creating. The instance is still creating. It is completed and it is added security groups and key name. And if you observe here the EC2 instance, the demo module is created and it is used the PEM file and the security groups. If you open this one and if you go to edit, see EC2 for security instance, security groups, the inbound rules, whatever we have opened, the port 22 is open for my IP and port 80 opened and 443 opened. Now, if you want to connect this VM using this PEM file, if you go details also, it is used, it will tell which key pair you are using. My Linux, the key pair is used. Let's try to log in this VM. Take public IP. EC2-user. So you should be able to connect with that VM using this key pair and with the same PEM file. Now what you need to do is, suppose you wanted to update one more port for port 8080 you need to open. So what you will do, port 8080, if you want to use, just take and add a new list value, port 8080. If you want to use your IP, you can use update your IP, or if you want to open port 8080 for internet, you can do same and do terraform apply. Using the dynamic block, it should be updated in the ingress inbound rules. So want to change, just it will be updated the ingress rules 8080. And if you observe here also in the security groups, now if you refresh, once this is completed, it is completed, right? If you refresh, the port 8080 is open for internet. Source is internet. Suppose if you want to delete, if you want to remove the 443, so just if you delete it and save and do terraform apply, auto approve. So 443 is, it will be deleted. No changes in infrastructure. There is one change, right? Let's refresh and check. We have not deleted properly. Yes. Now if you do terraform apply, One change it should be there. Here we are removing the 443, three elements. Now if you refresh, only port 80, 80, 80, 22, it is open as part of this configuration. So we have added the VPC, default VPC, it is launched, and the security groups and key pair. This is the EC2 module. Now my VM is going to be opened in my own network. If I wanted to launch the same VM in my own networking, so let's create one more module is networking or VPC module. So I'm giving the name networking. So in the networking, first one is the main.tf. So to create VPC, we need to provide the CIDR block. So it will be created on above. Even in networking, we will delete modules. Networking. Under networking, I am going to create main TF. So resource AWS VPC, and the name I will give main, and CIDR block. So I will declare as a variable dot CIDR block. Let me create one more file with variables .tf. The variable name is VPC CIDR. The main what we have given VPC CIDR block or CIDR block, and the value of that default 10.0.0.0/16. And if you want to provide description, you can provide the description. Let's see. And tags, the main for this VPC. For this VPC resource, use tags. Tags, I am declaring variable for the tags as well. Where dot tags, let me declare a variable tags. Tags. If you want to provide the description or just use default. Tags I'm going to use map. Type is map and default value. It should be name, the VPC name. So for time being, use this block. Tags will have key value pair, right? So I'm using map. Cider block. We have cider block as well. The BC ready VPC. I think this VPC is not available. If you go to VPCs, this BC ready VPC already created. Let me change the name. Or let me delete this VPC. Delete. It is deleted and it will be created again. Tags for VPC we have created the cider block and the tenancy if you wanted default tenancy if you didn't provide also the tags. So now we have used one more networking module as part of this one. Now go to main and let's call the module. Sorry, module and main VPC module name is main VPC. The source, the current folder only networking. Yes. Now try to apply auto approve. It will ask to initialize. The Terraform module is not at initialize. The main VPC let me Terraform init. It is initialized. Now Terraform plan, it will preview the changes what are going to be changed, what are going to be added. Now it's saying want to add Terraform apply. If an auto approve. So it will be created new VPC. This is the VPC which we created. The name we haven't given that name. That's why the tag name it is not picking. Let's try why it is not picking the tag. Networking variables. We have given that where dot tags. Title block and tag. It should be created with this name, but anyway, it is not created. We will add later. And now, if you observe this demo model previously with this title block, if you refresh now, it will be created a new resource with the own VPC, our own VPC. Oh, it is not updated. We haven't declared that one. We haven't used this module in this EC2. That is the reason it is not added. So main VPC done, networking is done. As part of this networking and VPC created, now we need to create public subnet. So later we will tell use this networking VPC and it should be launch EC2 instance. So to create any comment, hash is the keyword, like creating public subnet. So while creating public subnet, use this VPC. Under this VPC, we are telling to create public subnet. Resource AWS underscore subnet. The name you can give any name. Main. So for one availability, it should be directly we can give the value. If we have more than one subnet, so you can use the loop and it will be updated. Suppose if you have two values for availability zone, public 1, public 2, so you can declare a variable public cider block if you have list. So go to variables and add this public cider range and use the same in the variables. Now try to update Terraform format empty. This is done. Let's use tags here. Demo VPC VC. Now Terraform validate. It is valid and if you see auto approve, Terraform apply auto approve. It will be created public subnet. Okay, for time being, this is the tuple for each, it won't be work. So what I wanted to do is for one subnet, one availability zone, another subnet, another availability zone. Those things we will do it in next session. Uh, For time being, we have declared one more module, networking module, and we have created the VPC and subnet. We will do it in next session. So one subnet, one availability zone, like that. And the same VPC, we are going to be launch our EC2 instance. Those things we will see. If you like the video, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.